How many of you struggle with negative thoughts? And how many of you wonder how can you get rid of these negative thoughts? Hi, I'm Aastha Tatia, your happiness coach, and all my videos are directed towards helping you go beyond the barriers to your happiness and live the life that you desire. A life full of happiness, love, peace, and bliss. Okay, so if you like the video today, please hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Every Tuesday, there's a fresh video that you can watch, and again, directed at helping you move towards your happiness. And today, we'll be talking about uh, how to really get over the negative thoughts, trying to understand the design of the brain and how these negative thoughts really impact us and how can we go beyond. So, if I get to the basics, every thought is basically an outcome of a core, deep rooted belief, right? So, for example, if my belief is, I am not good enough, then the thought that I will get is, oh, will I be able to do it? Should I even attempt this? Right? So, something like this. And then my actions are going to be in accordance with the thought that I'm getting, because every action first happens here. Unless I get a thought, I'm not going to execute it, I'm not going to really implement it, I'm not going to act on it. Right? So, that's how my actions are impacted. And hence, I get the results that I get. So it's the beliefs which are actually driving the whole process. So whether a negative one or a positive thought, it is an outcome of the core belief that I have. So if the belief is I'm not good enough, then it's the thoughts are always going to be something like, how can I fit in here? Oh, I need validation, so things like, should I even attempt this? Oh no, I hope nobody notices me. I should not speak. Will my idea be that great? So, such thoughts are going to come. And then I'm going to take actions accordingly. Now, where do these beliefs come from? These beliefs I pick up, some of them through my childhood as I'm growing up, some of them through the experiences that I've had, the experiences of others we pick up from the environment. So there are a lot of different sources where we pick up these beliefs, and they are unique to individuals, my interpretation of a situation would be entirely different from yours, right? So that's how we pick on these beliefs. And the core programming of the brain is survival. Okay, now what does that mean? So, your brain doesn't like anything to happen to these beliefs. It just tries to survive these beliefs. That's the job, that's the role, that's the core programming of the brain. Okay, and the programming is survival, and it is always looking for negatives, threats. Because the programming is survival, so it just wants to scan the environment for threats to whatever is here in the subconscious. All the beliefs are sitting here in the subconscious, all of the experiences are all sitting in the subconscious, right? So your brain, in a second, the brain scans the environment 3 to 5 times for negatives. In 1 second, 3 to 5 times, the brain scans the environment for negatives. Now, if the brain is looking for negatives, what do you think it's going to get? So it's a no brainer that you actually are attracted towards what's not working, what didn't happen, what's missing, what's not good about myself, what's not good about others, people around me. So, by the way, we have beliefs for everybody around, not just for ourselves, right? So all of this that is happening is it's coming from the core programming of the brain and the brain's designed to look for negative. Now, what happens in the body when there is a negative thought? And then what happens when you try to jump to a positive one? So we've spoken about how beliefs actually are at the source of all the thoughts that I'm getting. And because my brain is designed to look for negatives, because it has to survive, it's the co-programming is survival, and it just tries to survive all that is there which is existing. So all those negative, or I would say the limiting beliefs that are there, which generate those negative thoughts, then the brain tries to survive them. It doesn't want them to go. Okay, so that's one part of it. Now, what happens when you try to alter this? So, when you are thinking a negative thought, okay, there is a chemical released in the body. It could be an XXX chemical. Okay, that chemical is released, and because your brain is running that pattern, when I say pattern, I'm using pattern and belief interchangeably. So it goes back to that pattern again and again, again and again. And when you're running it again and again, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Oh, this didn't happen. I'm not good enough. This didn't work out. I'm not good enough. I shouldn't do this because I'm not good enough. So, all those thoughts, every time that I'm running it again and again, it is growing stronger and stronger, right? So, every time that XX chemical is released in my body, and every cell of my body has gotten addicted to that chemical, which is released every time I think a negative thought. Now, that negative thought generates a negative feeling, right? And the negative feeling further gets me into thinking more of that thought, and that gets me into more of that feeling. So it's a thought feeling loop that I get into. And you will see slowly my way of being becomes like that, negative. I'll be a victim, I'll be a sufferer. Oh, this is not working, this just doesn't happen. And if it stays on for a while, then my whole personality becomes negative. Have you seen people that you don't want to go close to? You feel, oh, he is so negative. That's all that he talks about always. He always has problems. Haven't you seen such people? So, this is what happens. Now, let's say you decide, okay, no, I'm going to be positive. I have to think positive, right? And you start to think one positive thought. Now, when you think a positive thought, there is a different chemical that is released inside. And let's say that's a Y chemical. Okay. Now, your body is addicted to XXX, and every cell is addicted to XXX. They do not want Y. And that is where every cell kind of repels, and they gang up together, and they tell the brain, they send the signal that we don't want Y, we want our XXX back. And when every cell craves for XXX chemical, then the brain has no choice left but to say that, okay, I'll give you XXX, let's bring on XXX, and maybe we can work for Y tomorrow. And that's where the whole thing goes for a toss. And that's where you quickly go back to your negative thought. Right? I hope this is making sense to you and you're getting what I'm saying. And that is where you go back to those negative thoughts again. And that is where we say that change is not easy. It doesn't happen just at the snap of a finger. It takes effort and time, because every time your brain takes you back to who you are. So if you have to be somebody new, then that needs effort, because the same thing is going to happen over the time if you think that positive thought, which will then give you a positive feeling, which then will give you more of the positive thought and then positive feeling. So you get into a positive thought feeling loop. And all this while, Y chemical is being released. right? And that gives you a positive way of being if you're doing it for a prolonged period of time, right? So you start to feel energetic, hopeful, right? And over the time, your whole aura, your personality becomes positive. And that's when your body becomes addicted to that why, and you don't like being near negative people, talking negative, listening to anything negative. And I'm sure you would have seen such people also who are extremely positive. You'll be like, you want to be near those people, you love their energy, it's contagious, right? So this is how it works. Now, while the switch from this negative to positive, I just told you what happens in the body, is is not easy, because your brain takes you back to where it is. It just wants to survive the existing limiting beliefs. So the very first step, how can you really switch, how can you really shift from the negative thoughts, is you've got to start getting aware. You've got to, the first step is awareness, being conscious. Okay, so every time you're getting into that negative thought feeling loop, getting aware that, okay, this is what I'm thinking right now. What is that thought? What is the language? Oh, immediately the thought that came to me was, I can't do this. And what's the belief then? I'm not good enough. So you'll be able to figure out that there is a deep rooted belief which you picked on somewhere along the journey. And once you are aware that I am getting back into that negative thought and then feeling and way of being, maybe, then you have an option of really doing something. So the first step is awareness. So get aware that, okay, I'm heading back there. Second, making a conscious effort, making that choice that, okay, just be okay with that whole negative thought that's coming to your mind. Just be okay that, okay, I get it. Now I'm aware of it. It's fine. I'm accepting it. Now, what can I do about it? Because if I am not okay with it, and if I'm trying to fight it, how can I think negative? No, 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 I want to be positive. If I start to resist, if I start to fight it, I'm going to get more of it. I'm sure you've all experienced this. you know don't think of the pink elephant, and that's all that you will get to think, right? So anything that you resist, you'll get more of it. So don't fight, accept it. Awareness. The second thing is acceptance. The third thing is, once you are okay with it, now what can you do about it? So now, what can be the altered language? Because your thoughts are in the form of language. How can you catch your thoughts? By the language that you're speaking to yourself. Oh, will I be able to do it? If that's the thought that's coming to me, it's in the form of language. Will I be able to do it? Right? So, will I be able to do it? What can be an altered language or a new positive thought that I want to replace this with? And of course, for that, I need to work on the beliefs, for sure, because my thoughts are actually coming from my beliefs. If I am not good enough, doesn't go away, if or I won't say go away, if I do not replace it, or if I do not create a forwarding belief there, right, then my thoughts won't alter, for sure. However, what is that new language that I want for my belief and then my thought? So, whatever that new language is, I figured that out. And then, number four, I create a structure basically to support me, a structure to remind me that this is who I am, a structure that helps me get to the new one and not go back to the old one, right? So let's say if the new one is, so my the old belief, limiting belief, is I'm not good enough, and I decide to create a new one, which is I am enough. I am capable. I can do it 100%. I will do it. Let's say I am enough. So, what could be a structure? A structure will mean something outside of me which will help me remember, which will remind me that this is what I have created. I am enough. So, let's say I take a post it, a sticky note, and I write, I am enough, and stick it right in front of me. Or I take a printout with this written in big bold letters. I, make it my mobile phone screensaver, so anything that works for me. I set alarms for myself, 3 alarms in during the day, and every time the alarm rings, I stand up in front of the mirror and I repeat those words to myself. I am enough, I will do it, I'm capable, I'm energetic, I'm enthusiastic. So what structure will that be? So, when you're doing it over and over again, when you have that structure that reminds you that this is what my new creation is, and you repeat it, you go on doing it again and again, you practice it over and over again, then you start to form a new belief. And as you do it over and over again, that new belief becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay. And then you are going to get thoughts accordingly. And that's how we alter our thoughts. Okay. So so quickly to summarize, start to get aware. Number one, when every time you're getting into that negative thought feeling loop. Number two, accept it. Don't fight it. Be okay with it. That's something that you have lived with for so many years, all these years. It cannot change overnight. It needs work. So just accept, be okay, be willing to work. Only when you will accept it will you be willing to work. Number three, what is that new language, new belief that I want to create now? So articulating it. And number four, having a structure. What will remind me every time of this new creation of mine? What will remind me to kind of run through again and again so that it becomes a part of my subconscious now? Okay. And as you do this, on daily basis, also pick up just maybe one belief of yours and do that, start doing that, you will start to see a huge shift. Surely for me, it's been a game changer, because that's how the brain works, and I have been able to cause miraculous results for myself. Okay, so go ahead, do this. And if you found this meaningful, if you could relate to a lot of things that I spoke about, then please put them in the comment box. Let me know what was your takeaway. What is it that you're going to do now? Please put it in the comment box. Share with me what is going to be the new creation for you. So you can say that this is the negative belief or the negative thought that keeps coming back to me, and this is the new creation that I'm going to do. Okay. Do share that with me in the comment box, in the chat box below. And also subscribe to the channel. And every Tuesday, go ahead, watch the fresh video that I'm going to publish here. So I hope this made sense to you. I hope you've been able to understand how all of this works. So just go ahead and work on it. It just needs time, effort. Go easy, take your time, and have a great switching over. Have a great creation time, and wishing you all the best. Take care. Bye bye.